Hello, welcome. My name is Manuel from CaterGraphix Studios. Today, I'm going to teach you how to practically bond with a client. Now, bonding with a client simply means having to regenerate the energy of your relationship, not actually creating a relationship. We are assuming that a relationship is already created. Now, you are trying to keep this relationship from breaking. Now, this is important, okay? It's healthy also for your business to avoid conflicts during the process of your project with the clients, and also it keeps this business going over the decade. For instance, it also makes it easy for clients to return and also return with friends. Now, take for instance, you had an issue with a client, you had a conflict with a client, and a client sees an opportunity somewhere for someone to get you employed to do a project or stuff like that. The client may not be able to assign you to that particular person for that project. Why? Because they had a conflict with you and possibly conflict wasn't resolved. I have a different topic on client conflict and conflict resolution. So that video will be coming out in a few weeks from now. If you want to be the first to watch it, first click on the YouTube channel, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. So let's get into what we have today. I'm going to give you 3 simple tips on how to bond with a client. So tip number one, use more of the word we, ours instead of I. Okay, now why you need to do this is not that you want to forcefully assign yourself a position in the brand as a status. Okay, why we are doing this is only through the period of this project or before the period of this project. I was talking to a client yesterday and we have not even started a business. We have not started negotiating a business. I'm just trying to advise her on what to do and what I noticed was wrong during the auditing of our website. And I used the word, we need to do this, we need to do this. I think this particular part of our we need to do this, you know, that made her feel very more comfortable working with me, okay? Because now it makes her feel like I have the brand at heart. And it's psychologically, I like using that word. It psychologically makes her think that I'm part of the business, and it's difficult for someone who is part of a thing to hurt a thing. Okay, so psychologically we are making them understand that we are actually coming into the business to actually help the business, because this business is also part of us. So using the word we, ours, is more important, it's more significant than using the word I. That doesn't mean you shouldn't use the word I. There are most cases you can use the word I, but it shouldn't come in more than 20% of the period of this particular project. So use more of the word we and not the word I. Tip number two, advise, suggest, and teach your client new things. Okay, now this is an important or integral part of bonding with your client, because it helps you establish this authority between you and the brand itself. Okay, now there are things the clients might not be aware of before you started a project with them, and during the project or before the project, the ideas you push into their head, the kind of information you feed them, the suggestion you bring to them, and how pure your heart feels to them is what makes them actually give you the project or not. Because there are about 10 of the designers the clients have actually met with, and they need to see the difference. They need to not just see that this person is capable of handling the project. Clients these days will want or would prefer to work with someone who is going to handle their project over the decade, who is going to always come back to for advice. Now, clients wouldn't like a situation where if they finish discussing or establishing this understanding between you and them, having the time to explain themselves over and over again and having you to understand them, doing that with a new, different designer might feel a kind of cranky or difficult for them. So it is easier for them to come back to you over and over again, since you well understand their brand, to ask for a new project accomplishment. So you have to teach your clients. In most cases, I talk to my clients, I suggest some things, but in this particular point, you don't need to take it too far. Don't go too deep into it. Don't try to establish the authority as though you are the one who have the final say in the business. No. Now, in most cases, my clients might have questions about a situation in their brand. Now, or I might notice something in their brand. Now, if it's in situations I need to come in and advise, I come in, I put in my advice, but I need to put this punchline. I need to let them know that this is just a suggestion from me, okay? It's not that I'm imposing it on you. It's a suggestion, and I think this will help the brand over time, or this will help working together. Now, it doesn't mean that this is the final statement. It means that you too, as a client, have the right to alter this, have the right to say no to this particular suggestion or this particular advice, okay? Then we move on with what you have. Now, giving them or establishing this particular situation, making them understand that they have the final say, but you have the advisory part of this particular project, then it will make them have the free will. They don't want you to, be too busy or be too cranky, too fusing into them. It makes it easier for them to understand that you are actually there also to help. So tip number 3, give your client more assurance. If that's not enough, give them more. If that's not enough, give them even more. Now, this is very important in the starting part of your relationship with a client, which is actually closing the deal. Now, in the closing deal process, it is difficult for a client to agree to do business with you and make payments and actually wait for you to deliver the project. Now, there are 3 levels of client trust. I'm going to have a different topic on this particular part, the 3 levels of a client trust. But for now, let me go straight to the point. Number 1 level is the state a client go through your portfolio and understand that you are able to handle their project, or you're capable to actually accomplish that task. That is level number 1. Now, understanding in their mind, it downing in their mind that this guy is good enough to handle this project. Okay, that's trust number 1. But that's not enough. Trust number 2 is the level where the client is now assuming that it is okay to actually hand you this particular fund for you to start this project. If possibly you take 50% or 100% upfront before you start a project. Now, the client being able to pay you before you start a project requires a second level trust. I'm going to have a different topic on this. I'm going to teach you how to establish this trust, okay? But for now, it is very simple. First level trust, the client needs to understand you are able to accomplish this task. Second level trust, the client needs to understand that you are trustworthy to be handed this project and paid for. Okay, so that's the second level. Now, in this second level, a client will make payments because they actually trust you, not that they trust you to accomplish the task, but they trust you that you are not going to run away with their money, and they're also trusting you that you are not the wrong person to be given this project, because some people can actually clone someone else and present themselves and take up a project and mess it up. So that is the true fear of a client before they give you a project. That's why I advise most of my students to make sure they publish as much projects as possible in their portfolio. When I'm having this client trust topic on a separate frame, I will actually talk deep into this. Now, the trust number 3, after the client must have made payments and they are comfortable now, that's okay, we are good to go with this guy, let's send the money to him, and they send the money to you, they are not comfortable at all. Okay, now this is where trust number 3 sets in. If you're a web designer, if you're a graphic designer or a brand identity designer, I'm going to teach you how to avert this one. Okay, but the other ones, I'm going to give you a totally different course. I'm going to make a totally different course on this. Now, in this trust number 3, they are afraid that, are you sure the person we made payment to is capable of handling this? That's why you see some clients, when they are done paying, the next morning they will chat you up and say, guy, how are you doing? I just want to check up on you. Why is the client checking up on you? Because they are afraid that you are actually there. They are assuming that you have ghosted away with their funds. So to avert this particular issue, to make them comfortable, what you do is, do not send clients questionnaires before they make payments. Send them questionnaires, what's the brand name, what's this, what's that, what's that. Send them immediately they are done making payments. Now, this is important in 2 ways, okay? Number 1, it establishes that authority to make it easier for them to make payments, understanding that this is a serious deal. And number 2, it gives them the leverage to understand that you are continuing with the business. Never mind that you have actually collected a part of the money, okay? But you are proceeding with the business or with the agreement by providing them questions which you are going to use in tackling the problems. Okay, so that's tip number one. For web designers, this is for graphic design. For web designers, what you practically do is provide what we call project documentation. So project documentation is just like the data, possibly you have purchased the domain for them, the email, a custom email, the SSL certificate, the Cloudflare, you have installed the WordPress. Just tabulate or organize or document all of these username and password for them. Encrypt it. There are ways to encrypt. I'll have a different topic on how to encrypt your files for clients so it will be end-to-end protected. Now encrypt your file and send them the password to the file. Okay, immediately as they make payment the first day, that's what you're gonna do. Purchase their domain, purchase everything necessary, and then you send them the details over to them. So if they have the detail and the data of the website, they now are relaxed because they say, wow, seems this is really working and we can actually assess this guy have actually purchased this. I think this is time to relax. So that's the 3 levels of trust. First off, they have to understand you are capable to work with. Second, they have to understand you are capable to be paid to start the project actually. And third, they need to understand that this person is actually not going to run away with their money. Okay, so that's tip number 3, and this is the last tip on how to bond with clients. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, make sure to click the subscribe button, and subscribe click will be a bond. Do have a wonderful day.